Well, didn't bring the measuring tape or the scale over, so let's check out the specs. I'll use Spyderco Caribbean online. Just see how long they are. See what the weight is. These plain edge ones have been pretty popular and sold out for a long time. And just coming back into stock, so kind of spurred me to make a video. Probably should have made a long time ago. There it is, there, cutting edge. 3.7 inch blade length. 4.2 ounces. That's what I was looking for. Of course, these are designed by Sal a few years back. Who knows when he came up with the idea, but yeah, these came out a few years ago, and these plain edge ones just been super popular. So let's check one out here in person. And a couple years after they come out. That's funny. Thanks for joining me, Travis from the Knife Joker. Today coming at you with, well, this overview of this Spyderco Caribbean. Long time in coming overview. Well, these things have been out for a long time. I've actually had this one for years. Although, kind of looks brand new. Although the lighting might be off or the color might seem a little bit off. I noticed that on my last video on the Travis Van Way channel. I made a video of a red guitar, and man, it did not look that red. But this color in particular should be off a little bit. Tried to dye it a little bit green, taking just the edge off of that yellow on the Spyderco Caribbean. Certainly love the knife. Yellow hasn't been my favorite color, and well, I think a lot of people have said that about the Caribbean. Maybe that's why it's not quite as popular. Well, I just said it was popular. This plain edge version has been sold out for quite a long time. Plain edge being the most popular version, but just meaning like compared to maybe the PM2 or something like that. Not quite as popular. Maybe it's the yellow and the black, or maybe it's the size of the knife, or maybe it's the, what do you call that, scalloping or milling here on the G10. Really cool knife overall, and glad to finally do the overview of it. Should have done this a few years back. I mean, I kind of prefer it to the PM2 because I got a big hand, and that fits a big hand really well. Let's just check a couple of these ones out. Here, side by side, got a couple of different versions here. That serrated version. Also that sheep's foot version right there. I'm not a sheep's foot guy really, but as far as sheep's foot go, it's one of my favorite ones. Maybe just because it's big. Of course, I like big knives, but man, that's a nice big sheep's foot blade. I don't have the plain edge sheep's foot version, and either I didn't order one or they're still sold out. Well, here they are side by side. Let's see if we could tell. Did I change the color of that thing at all? I don't know. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit off yellow now. Now that we look at it one side by side. Yeah, this is my old one. Well, if it wasn't a plain edge, but could you probably get them mixed up? Meaning, even after years of use. That LC200N, well, I don't carry it every day, but that LC200N, and as you see in the beginning of the video and the end of the video, well, it's gotten some use. Hawaii. Didn't take my stainless steel knives to Hawaii, and well, I'm glad, because it's wet. Well, I guess it depends on where you go. The part where I went, well, one day it rained 18 times. I mean, in one day, 18 times. So, let's check out this video. Well, no, speaking of video, I was watching a video there in Hawaii, and it went out. The guy changed the HDMI wire and made it work again. HDMI wire went out. So wet in Hawaii, that's just crazy to me. So, yeah, this is the one. Oh, I thought it wasn't the one. It's been in the ocean. Had pizza on it for 6 days. Or maybe 3 days. Then I cleaned it off. I just cleaned something off the back right before the video. And it came right off, so. See how new this, if I can get a focus. How new this LC200N looks. And, well, I don't know. I do this on camera. I use it, I resharpen it on the sharp maker. Is it sharp? Oh, God. Oh, I just made a big bald spot on my arm, yeah. Probably not a lot of focus somehow. Not focusing too well, but yeah, I made a big bald spot on my arm now. Because I touched it up on the sharp maker, that LC200N touches up really well. I think I only touched it up maybe two or three times in the last couple of years. So yeah, being that kind of an elongated, is it? I don't know, what kind of blade is that? Is similar to a PM2, but it doesn't have the straight back. I think it's a leaf blade. I think they're calling that the leaf blade. It's similar to like a sage. I know the sage is the leaf blade. See, that comes down a little more. Kind of in between that true leaf, which is pretty symmetrical. But this one's not a straight spine. Kind of comes down. I guess it's a leaf. I should look at my own specs there. Let's see what Spyderco is calling it. Yeah, it's not like that PM2, it's not that straight spine. But there's another good side-by-side of the Caribbean and the PM2. Side-by-side, it's a different handle. There's no choil to choke up on here. But then again, it makes the handle bigger. It's funny, even though the handle not really longer, there's more area in there to hold it on the Caribbean, but it doesn't have the choil. It doesn't come up as much on the back right there. You could see these both being G10, but look completely different. That polished black G10. Let's see if we can get a close-up of it here. Just trying to see. There you go. It's actually G10 in there, just trying to see that reflection of the light from the ceiling. There's actually G10 down in there. And man, that's milled out real deep. Gives you a lot of texture. I don't know why I can't get my focus back here. There we go. But yeah, that gives you a lot of texture. See if I can get the focus here. Now, there we go. Of course, you see that layer of G10 and that milling. Kind of scalloping. I don't know if it's called scalloping. I want to call it that for some reason. And you see on this Caribbean, a lot of times people have been complaining about a nub or something hitting them here, like on the Shaman. I think even the PM2 does that a little bit. Of course, they don't mention it. Yeah, even the PM2, that nub maybe could almost touch you. See, here in the Caribbean, there's nothing. There's nothing there, so if you're ever worried about that nub coming back and hitting you right there, there's nothing gonna hit you. And these are smooth. Of course, I'm not a manual focus for some reason. Really an awesome knife. Great carry for a big hand. For a big, I was gonna say for a big guy. Could be for a small girl. It's just it's not even that big of a knife. Like what did it say on the specs? 3.57. It's not a 4-inch blade, that's for sure. But the handle is pretty big, which is great when you're using it. Of course, it's a little large next to your phone in your pocket, probably. See that Shaman considered. Yeah, another big knife. Real close to that Shaman. I see a little bit of a different blade shape. That Shaman, a little more of a true leaf blade. And then this Caribbean, a little more elongated out. And you know, the more I look at this thing and play with it, I almost talk myself into it. I mean, I've liked it all along, but the more I compare it to other things, I think I like it even better. I mean, it's just that yellow wasn't my favorite color, so I think it gets overlooked a lot just because that color possibly, or maybe, I mean, the Caribbean's a cool name, but is it cool as Shaman? I don't know. Is it cool as PM2? Well, I don't know. Let's check out this manix as well. That manix. Manix drops down a little more on top, a little less on the bottom there. But pretty similar, being that full flat grind. You see that Caribbean being a little bigger than the manix in the blade. Man, look at that. I don't know. That's a great user knife right there, the Caribbean. Of course, the manix is, and well, all these knives are. The PM2. It's cool to see them side by side. Here, how this one has that angled, and this one has the thicker part, comes straight up where they start the grind, the taper. Let's get that Shaman up there. I like to hold them on the side by side here. Laying them on the table doesn't show very well. Of course, the Caribbean, the only one without that forward finger choil, but it kind of makes your grip that much bigger. Look how much bigger the usable part of the grip is on the Caribbean compared to the manix. That's pretty. Let's do that to the Caribbean too. I mean the Shaman too. Look at that. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, huge handle, I guess. Super slicey, full flat grind. And you got that satin forever. I'm just saying, if I took even this M390 to Hawaii, I'm pretty sure taking it in the ocean for 6 days, putting peats on it and blah, 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 you would see Mark some, well, submerging it completely in the ocean wouldn't be good, probably. So, yeah, that's the only knife I took to Hawaii was this one, and well, also that Pacific Salt old head one. But that would be another good knife to take to Hawaii. So I hope you enjoy this little overview of the Spyderco Caribbean, as it's just restocked in the plain edge version. just inspired me to show like what a great knife this really is. Just closing down. It's funny that it's not, I don't think they do that same pivot as they have on a lot of these ones from Tai Chung, to where they're just on the Kuchi and the Kapara, I think, the Sage have this good night. And the Caribbean, not quite as smooth. Maybe not quite as smooth as the PM2, but I mean, pretty smooth. People have said they're not quite as smooth, and well, maybe not quite, but at the same time, you know, if you work them in, you get one maybe a little smoother than another out of the box. But this one actually being crazy smooth right out of the box. And of course, these coming from Tai Chung, they're all going to be centered. You don't have much quality control issues from Taiwan for Spyderco. Except a couple of people said they wish these were a little smoother. I mean, this one's really good. Of course, I've had it for a couple years now. Well, check out the video. Well, the video and the pictures here at the end of this video of Caribbean out in its normal territory. No, not the Caribbean. It's Hawaii, actually, Pacific Ocean. So, hope you enjoyed the video once again. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.